Meeting of the Village Board, Lake Bluff. Clerk, please call the roll.
Excuse me for a minute, Susan. In the absence of Village President Regis Charlot, as Village Clerk,
I'm gonna step over.
I will call the February 24th Village Board of Trustees meeting to order and will call the roll. Trustee Cole.
Here.
Trustee Fisher.
Here.
Trustee Freed.
Here.
Trustee Hatch.
Here.
Trustee Rappin is absent, and Trustee Ryder.
Here.
It is the practice of the village for the longest-serving trustee to serve as president pro tem. Trustees Fisher and Ryder have served the longest and have agreed that Trustee Ryder will serve tonight to lead this meeting. Is there a motion to name Trustee Ryder to serve as president pro tem?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Trustee Ryder, the meeting is now yours.
Thank you. Start by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 3 on the agenda is consideration of the minutes of the February 10, 2025 regular Village Board meeting. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve. Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Minutes are approved. Item number 4, non-agenda items and visitors. The village president and Board of Trustees allocate 15 minutes during this item for those individuals who would like the opportunity to address the Village Board of Trustees on any matter not listed on the agenda. Each person addressing the Village Board of Trustees is asked to limit their comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. Do we have anyone? Please, come to the podium.
Hello, we're Gail and Leif Gamrath of 660 Green Bay Road. It's been a few peaceful months. I didn't expect to get emotional, I'm sorry. Since we last stood before you. Peaceful thanks to all of you. We wish we had our kids who are now off to their new lands with us here tonight. We wanted to take our time to thank you after all the time you spent looking into the pickleball situation that appears to have finally officially moved forward at your last meeting. I speak for all the Gamraths to tell you that you noticed, you inquired, you listened, you took action, while not always popular. You invested in finding the right data to make a decision. You responded when we called and needed to talk, and ultimately upheld the ordinances in our great village. You are all busy, and I'm certain there are times when you are not sure you have time to fill the many roles you have in your lives. But please know that your service on this board makes a difference. And because of all of your examples, I've chosen to run for a local board and hope to serve our high school come spring, because I've seen the difference a good board can make versus one that unfortunately seeks to divide our awesome community. So this process, and Drew and Regis have taught me patience. It was the summer of 2022 that we're often woken up at 5 a.m. Hour by balls hitting rackets. If it were not for all of you and our home that we love would be up for sale. That sounds dramatic, but it would be true. We would be moving away from this town where we both grew up. We'd be moving away from our parents and the community that we love. Instead, this spring, we will be welcoming all the sounds that come over our fence with windows wide open. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Have a good night.
Thanks. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Leif. Okay.
See if someone's on. If somebody is participating through the Zoom call and you want to speak on items that are not on the agenda, please raise your hand. You can be recognized at this time. Doesn't appear so.
Okay. Item 5, Village Board sets the order of the meeting. The village president and board trustees will entertain requests from anyone present on the order of business to be conducted during the village board meeting. Drew, do we have anyone like to take it out of
I
order?
think if you took the consent agenda and item 13,
Okay. Any objection? Okay, hearing none, we'll proceed in that order. First item on the consent agenda, item number 10, acceptance of the correspondence. Please note that all correspondence was delivered to the Village Board of Trustees in the informational report on February 7 and February 14th, 2025. Item 11, second reading of an ordinance authorizing the purchase of a replacement police vehicle and declaration of one police vehicle as surplus. And item 12, second reading of an ordinance granting final plan approval and zoning variations and modifications for a planned mixed-use development at 120 East Scranton Avenue. Are there any of these that we'd like to pull from the consent agenda? We've had lots of discussion in prior meetings and many meetings before ours as to item 12, and we're thrilled to be able to move forward with that, and as well as 11 and 12. So a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Okay. And second?
Second.
All in favor?
Roll call.
Aye.
Oh, roll call vote. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher.
Aye.
Trustee Freed.
Aye.
Trustee Hatch.
Aye.
Trustee Cole.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll go to item number 13. And second reading of an ordinance repealing Chapter 9, Animal Control, Articles A, B, C, and C of Title 5, Police and Public Safety, and readopting Articles A, B, and C as amended in the Lake Bluff Municipal Code. Let's see, item 13. I have a report. Should I go forward with it? Okay.
Sure.
All right, I was going to turn it over to the lawyers, but the Village of Lake Bluff is a home rule municipality in accordance with Article 7, Section 6 of the Constitution of the State of Illinois of 1970. As such, the village retains the right to regulate ownership, zoning, registration, other conditions related to domestic and non-domestic animals unless otherwise established in law. Title 5 of the Lake Bluff Municipal Code as amended sets forth regulations relating to public safety. Specifically, Title 5, Chapter 9 of the Village Code sets forth regulations pertaining to animal control. Village staff recently conducted an evaluation of current animal control regulations following an apparent increase of animal bite complaints. Upon review by village staff, it was determined the current regulations did not reflect the best practices for animal control within the village. Recommended revisions include: 1, Section 5-9B-7, Animal Restraint Regulations, Leash Law. 2, Sections 5-9A-6, 5-9B-26, 5-9B-29, and 5-9C-11, Appropriate Fees, Fines, and Penalties. 3, Article C, General Standards for Animals. 4, Section 5-B-20, Burial Standards for Dead Animals. 5, Section 5-9B9, Dangerous Animals, Investigation, Determination, and Requirements, and Preferred Process for Appeals of Chief of Police Determinations regarding dangerous animals, Village Board or Village Administrator. And 6, Section 5-9B-24, Restrictions on Pigeons. As you will recall, this item was tabled at the January 27, 2025 meeting so as to provide sufficient time to address concerns raised by the public regarding certain protections for local feral cat trap, neuter, and release programs. The attached ordinance has been modified to address these concerns, as well as many of the changes submitted by the Best Friends Animal Society. Finally, as previously noted, zoning regulations for animals are currently located in Title 5, Chapter 9 of the Village Code, and will remain in this section until a future text amendment to move the location requirements, 5-9A-3, as proposed, into the zoning regulations is completed. Village staff will be present to answer any questions from the board regarding this updated draft of the animal control regulations. The village board approved first reading of the ordinance at its February 10 meeting. The attached ordinance includes changes stemming from the resident feedback provided at the February 10 village board meeting. Do I have a motion to approve on second reading this ordinance?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call vote.
That's first reading. Was it first or second?
Says second.
Roll call
Second
vote.
reading.
Roll call vote, so it's a,
Or can I just make one quick
Oh,
comment?
please.
Yeah, because I think it's important, just to cap this discussion, there was a lively discussion last time we were here. And I felt like saying it last time, and I want to say again, a little more clearly, extra thank you to Counselor Gandersky for the work she put into this ordinance. I know that legalese can read confusingly, but I spent a lot of time reading it, and I think it's actually achieving exactly what we asked and then some. And I want to make it super clear how I feel about the counsel we receive from Elrod Freeman, and specifically you. It's a high caliber to work with Elrod Freeman, and I just feel like we need to say this out loud, that you are not just an excellent lawyer, you come with extra experience specifically in this area. And what I mean is, Ms. Gandersky was the director of the Chicago Animal Care and Control Department for Cook County. Am I right? I'm not making that up, or just for the city of Chicago? That's a really hefty job. You have to know what you're doing to be able to hold that job, and she held it successfully. So I'm saying this out loud to say that I have every bit of confidence that the ordinance is doing what it's supposed to do. And thank you for drafting an eloquent piece of legislation.
Thank you, trustee. I'm humbled by your compliments.
okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions or congratulations?
I just also want to thank Chief Smazinski and Village Administrator Irwin, too, for the process and all their input. It's been very helpful along the way.
We have been engaging with some of that resident comment that we received at the last meeting up until today, working to see if there's any further tweaks to present to you tonight. So it was up until Friday, working through it, so.
Thank you.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
All right, and we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor? No, roll call vote. Scratch that. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Freed.
Aye.
Trustee Hatch.
Aye.
Trustee Cole.
Aye.
Trustee Fisher.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Thank you all very much.
Okay, now we go back to 6, correct?
6A, yes.
6A. Thank you. The Village Finance Report. 6A is the warrant report for February 11 through February 24, 2025, and fiscal year 25 payroll expenditures to date. First, the expenditure of village funds for payment of invoices in the amount of $214,548.14 for February 11 through February 24, 2025. Expenditure of village funds for payment of payroll in the amount of $328,238 for January 2025. For total expenditures of $542,786.14. Attached to the report are the warrant report for February 11 through February 24 in the amount previously stated. The invoice register report shows checks with the status of open or paid. All checks with the status of open are computer-generated checks for the board's final approval. Checks with the status of paid are checks processed manually. And then second, the fiscal year 2024-2025 payroll report. And the village administrator's recommendation is approval of the warrant and payroll in the total amount aforestated. Do we have any comments, Bettina, that you'd like to offer?
No.
Any questions? Do we have a motion to accept the warrant report first?
Approved, not
separately?
accept.
Warrant, motion to approve the warrant report and the payroll report as stated.
So moved. Second.
Anyone? Okay, all in favor, don't say aye, because we're going to have a roll call vote.
You were slaying this.
Pause, and I promised to tell you,
Yeah.
and then no
All
one will
right,
know
all
that
right.
you
I'm
didn't.
trying to get through. Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Hatch.
Aye.
Trustee Cole.
Aye.
Trustee Fisher.
Aye.
Trustee Freed.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Terrific. Item 6B. Item 6B is the January 2025 financial report. And we are in front of you for the memo, gives the summary of the background and the reason for the request as follows. Attached for your consideration is the January 2025 financial report. Noteworthy items found in this monthly report include the monthly sales tax revenue on a cash basis for January fiscal year 2025 is $433,127, which is $128,793 greater than the fiscal year 2024 cash basis receipts for the same period. General fund fiscal year 25 year-to-date revenues of $11,769,789 are $1,022,000. There's an extra one. $183 greater than the fiscal year 24 year-to-date revenues. And fiscal year 25 current expenditures are consistent with or less than budgeted for the total general fund. The fiscal year-to-date expenditures of $10,529,522 are $1,979,557 greater than the expenditures for the same period in fiscal year 24. 60% of the increase is due to the inter-fund transfers from the general fund to the vehicle replacement and capital fund posting earlier than in fiscal year 24. Do I have a motion to accept the financial report for January 2025?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, moving right along. Okay, item number 7, Village Administrator's Report. Drew, do you have a report?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay. Peter, Village Attorney's Report is item 8,
No report tonight.
and I myself have no report. Nor does Regis, because he's not here. Okay, so we will move promptly to item 14. Item 14 is a resolution authorizing the execution of a construction contract with Schroeder and Schroeder Incorporated of Skokie, Illinois, and waiver of competitive bids for the Village of Lake Bluff's fiscal year 2025 miscellaneous concrete replacement project. In 2023, the Village of Lake Bluff, through the Municipal Partnering Initiative, joined with 6 nearby municipalities to jointly bid the concrete, street, curbs, and sidewalk work for all 7 municipalities. The village subsequently awarded the project to the lowest bidder, Schroeder and Schroeder Incorporated of Skokie, Illinois. In 2024, the village and Schroeder agreed to extend the contract with a 4% increase in unit prices from the 2023 rate. For 2025, Schroeder and Schroeder has offered to further extend the contract with a 3.5% increase. No new municipal partnering initiative bid will be taken this year. Village staff believes it is in the best interest of the village to agree to the 3.5% increase, waive the competitive bid process, and award a contract in the amount of $35,000 to Schroeder and Schroeder. The village's proposed fiscal year 2026 budget includes $35,000 for the municipal concrete replacement project. Schroeder and Schroeder has completed this annual village project numerous times in the past. The village engineer is recommending the waiver of competitive bidding and that an award be made to Schroeder and Schroeder Incorporated in the budgeted amount of $35,000. Do we have any questions, or would you like to enlighten us further?
No, just, there was an MPI bid last year that was higher priced than what we are being offered this year. That MPI bid was for communities to the south of us, so we looked at that and thought we better off just staying with this extension. The last time we bid it outside the MBI all by ourselves, we paid about a 30% premium for that, so we're trying to avoid that.
Okay, any other questions?
Looking for a motion to approve.
The motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
Okay.
Comments?
Questions? Anyone? Comments? Thank you. Okay, it's a roll call vote. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Fried?
Aye.
Trustee Hatch?
Aye.
Trustee Cole?
Aye.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, item 15, a resolution authorizing the execution of a construction contract with Peter Baker and Son Company for the Village of Lake Bluff fiscal year 2026 street improvement program. The Village of Lake Bluff partnered with the City of Lake Forest to jointly bid the fiscal year 2026 street improvement program. The village's scope of work includes street resurfacing, street patching, and resurfacing of a portion of the Public Works Department site. In an effort to achieve economies of scale, a joint procurement process was undertaken that yielded 4 bids. The lowest bid was submitted by Peter Baker and Sons of Lake Bluff, Illinois, with an amount attributable to Lake Bluff's portion of the work at the price of $509,670.85. The village's proposed fiscal year 2026 budget includes a total of $650,000 for street improvement program and $50,000 for resurfacing at the Public Works facility. The proposed construction agreement and all related activities, including the construction engineering and design engineering for the fiscal year 2026 project, are estimated to cost $590,000. Peter Baker and Sons has previously performed the village's street improvement project and has proven to be capable of completing the work. The village engineer is recommending that the village board award the contract to Peter Baker and Sons for the amount of $670,085. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
And second?
Seconded.
Any questions or comments or anything you'd like to add?
It's the best bid we've had in some time. This one was below our estimates, and that's been
Okay.
the opposite trend for a couple of years, so we're happy with
Right.
this.
That's great. Okay. It's a roll call vote, so clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Cole?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Fried?
Aye.
Trustee Hatch?
Aye.
The motion carries.
Terrific, thank you. Okay, moving along. Item 16, a resolution authorizing the execution of a construction engineering services agreement with Gewalt Hamilton Associates for the Village of Lake Bluff's fiscal year 2026 street improvement program. In conjunction with the award of a construction contract to Peter Baker and Son for the village's fiscal year 2026 street improvement program, the village engineer has solicited a proposal from Gewalt Hamilton Associates of Vernon Hills, Illinois, for the necessary construction observation, project administration, and materials testing services associated with the roadway resurfacing and patching work. Payment will be made on an hourly basis to include profit and overhead at the hourly rates as specified in the agreement. A cost not to exceed of $49,909 is specified without additional written authorization from the village. The village's fiscal year 2026 proposed budget contains adequate funds for the construction observation services, and the village engineer recommends adoption of the attached resolution approving the construction engineering services agreement. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Okay. Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fried?
Aye.
Trustee Hatch?
Aye.
Trustee Cole?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
The motion carries.
Terrific. Okay, item 17 is the trustees' report. Does anyone have a report they'd like to make? Okay. Item 18, do we have an executive session?
No, ma'am.
Oh, some kind of record, right?
This is the record.
You're off,
Another one close, but
you're
this
off
is-
by 7 minutes.
Oh,
All-time fastest. Yes.
oh, man. All right, Gail. We had to hear from Gail.
That's right, sure. Darn compliments. Darn compliments.
Took too much time for
You know
compliments.
what? After everything was so worth it.
Yeah, no, right. Okay, hearing none.
Look
Have
for
a motion to adjourn.
Second. Or so moved.
Second.
And second.
You
Everyone,
wanted to even cut it even shorter, yes.
anyone wanted to discuss that? No, and, okay, any, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? None? The motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.